I have a TV interview coming up that I have to cook a dish for. So today I'm gonna test it out, see if there's any tweaks I need to make for it and see how it works. So this is gonna be like inspired by pho, or like chicken style pho. The girl that's interviewing me is from the north, so I wanna make something that's gonna be familiar to her, but do it in a different way. First I have some chicken, I'm gonna boil it and make a stock. So this is just chicken carcass. I got some chicken legs. Oh, it's a thigh. Oh, okay, I have chicken thighs here. The thighs, I'm gonna remove the skin. And I have a whole chicken. This is a gat-dad. This is like a type of wild chicken. So it has a lot more flavor, though it's a lot tougher. So, but I want it for the flavor of this stock. So the whole chicken as well, I'm gonna try to remove as much skin as I can. I'm not worried about getting all of it. I just wanna get a good amount. So I have the skin separated. I have the chicken in the pot. So I got this over high heat, and I'm gonna bring it to a boil as fast as possible. Okay, so this has been boiling for like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Let's take it off. So you can see all the foam that's come up on the boil already, so I'm gonna dump all this out. And you can see my pot is a little bit dirty, so I'm gonna wash the pot. Now I'm gonna wash the chicken and just get some cold water running over it. Get my hands over and try to get all the, any scum that was on it, from boiling, get it off of there. And I'll put all this back in the clean pot. And I'm gonna fill this back up with water, new water. So this is going back on the stove, low heat, maybe like medium low, probably 35 minutes, that's my guess. We'll start with 30 and we'll check it. Okay, so this has been, it's probably about maybe closer to an hour now. So I'm just gonna remove everything out of here. So I'm gonna take a big portion of this stock. Let me get a pot. I'm gonna strain this to make sure it's clear. I'm gonna reduce this probably by at least 50%, maybe a lot more than that. I want it to be super intense, strong chicken flavor. So next I'm making like a spice oil to give all the flavor that pho would typically have. So I'm using all the spices that you'll find in a bowl of pho. Some ginger, cinnamon, clove, black cardamom, that kind of thing. And I'm gonna fry that in the oil first. And then with the chicken skin, I'm just gonna blanch it quickly. So now I'm just gonna pull this skin out and let it drain in a colander. This water is trash. Next, I'm gonna slice up some garlic and some shallot thinly. So all the ingredients in the oil right now, once they are cooked, they're gonna be removed and discarded. The shallots, the garlic, the sesame seeds, and the chicken skin, I'm gonna keep in the oil. So I'm gonna do it a little bit differently when I get there. I'm waiting until these start to get fragrant, color changes slightly, and then ginger, I wanna see it golden brown. I wanna see it toasted. So I'm gonna start pulling out the cloves. I think they're probably done to the smallest. That ginger's looking nice and toasted now. I'm gonna pull that out. I'm gonna leave the cinnamon and the black cardamom in there while I fry the shallots. I'll pull them out a little later. I want them to have more time. So the shallots are going in. So the skin's totally cool. There's just some feathers on this one. I'm just gonna pull them off. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna remove the black cardamom now just because that has the strongest flavor. I don't need too much of that. I'll leave the cinnamon in there. All right, so it's been about 5 minutes. I'm gonna pull the cinnamon out now. Super fragrant already. And then I'm gonna continue frying these shallots until they're just light golden brown. Probably another 5 minutes. So these shallots are really close right now. I want to pull them off right before they're done because they will carry over cooking. So I want to pull them right when they're golden brown. It's super close. All right, so I'm going to strain this now. All right, so I'm going to put the oil back in the pan. And now the garlic's going in next. You can see the shallots are just light golden brown. That's perfect. And the garlic we're going to cook the same way, just until it's lightly golden brown. So the same with the garlic, I'm just worried about it overcooking, so I'm gonna pull it off just when it's light golden brown, and it's close again. Okay, I'm gonna take this off right now, light golden brown, looks good. All right, let's call it there. The oil goes back in. So next I'm gonna fry the sesame seeds. So just like the shallots, you can see that these are just light golden brown, and they will get a little bit darker as they sit. And again, with the sesame seeds, the same. I'm gonna cook them until they're light golden brown, as they will carry over, just like everything else. I'm gonna pull these sesame seeds out a little earlier. I'm just nervous about them carrying over. All right, oil's going back in. The sesame seeds went through my filter, so I gotta strain them again. Okay, the last thing we're gonna do is to fry the skin. So that's gonna go in next. So I'm just gonna fry these until crispy. As these start going light golden brown, I'll pull them out. I think this will be good. You can see, as careful as I was, I stacked everything up on itself and it continued to cook. And now these shallots are really dark, to the point where I'm like really pissed off now. I kind of burnt these. Is it gonna be usable? I don't know. I definitely would prefer them not to be this dark. Look, you can see the top on there is lighter golden brown, and when I flip it over to the center of the pile, it's much darker. That's fudging burnt right there. That's fudging burnt. Garlic's really dark. This was difficult. A little pissed here. I'll remove this chunk because it's super burnt. Once the chicken skin's nice and crispy, I'm gonna remove all of it, and then I'm gonna turn the burner off and just let the oil completely cool down. So the chicken skin is totally cool now. I'm just gonna chop it. So now the oil is totally cool, I'm gonna add this chicken skin to it. And then I'll also add all of the other fried elements in here. I'm worried how dark these shallots are. I'm worried how dark this garlic is, but we should have a super flavorful bomb oil. Here, let's see. It's hard because there's no salt in there. So there's no seasoning in it. Is it aromatic? Yes, it's aromatic. It's a little too bitter because the garlic and shallot are burnt. Is what it is. I'm not restarting now, but it's not bad. That's for sure. Definitely not bad. Next time I might want to fry more spices in the oil because it's not as aromatic as I want it to be. So I would probably double the amount of spices as I did next time, if this works out. Let's make the chili sauce. I'm gonna try to make a chili sauce to put on top of it. Something that's gonna be really bright. I'm gonna use some of this red bell pepper to kind of stretch it out to get a little more chili in there without getting just straight heat. And then I have these bigger dragon chili for the heat element. I can keep some of the seeds. I'm not worried about getting them all, but I just want to remove some to get a better texture. All right, I'm also gonna throw some onion in here as well. Again, get a little bit of sweetness, a little bit more stretch. Just stretch out the chili a little bit. All right, so I'm gonna take some of this chicken stock and put it in the pot. I don't want much, that's probably good. I'm gonna throw the onions in, and I'll get these steaming, boiling, simmering, whatever you wanna say. Pinch of salt, pinch of sugar. I got a little bit of rice vinegar or white vinegar, but I'm using rice. Let's go there. Okay, the onions have been going for about 3 or 4 minutes now. I'm gonna throw in the chili. Give this like 2 minutes in here. I just want the onions to be cooked through, and I want the chili just not to be raw, just barely cooked. I'm trying to make this chili sauce like really bright, really red, really bright flavor, because the garlic oil and the chicken skin oil is really deep, kind of dark, so I want this to have big brightness for contrast. All right. I'll probably be more careful before I taste chili like that. It's been going for about 2 or 3 minutes. The chilies are slightly softened and the pan is hot. All right, now we'll blend it. Steaming hot liquid in a blender with a lid on. This could be very dangerous. I'll be super aware when I open it up. That's okay. All right. I think I added a little too much liquid at the last step. So back on the stove, get some of the water out of there. I like the heat level. We'll cook this a little bit and get some of the liquid out of here. All right, I think I'm gonna turn this off, let this cool down. Hopefully it'll thicken up a little bit for us. I don't have anything else to thicken it with. If I had some xanthan gum, or if I had some Ultratex or something like that, I could blend it and thicken it, but I don't have any. Okay, I'm not certain this is gonna work, but I wanna try it. So I wanna try to get more chicken, more egg element into this. So I'm gonna try to make like a foam, including the broth. So first we'll get some egg yolks in here. So I have the chicken stock boiling right here. I have my 4 egg yolks in here and a whisk. I'm gonna start blending them. And just like a mayonnaise, I'm gonna slowly drip in some of this hot stock. Not the oil, just the stock. So this is definitely something a little, I'm not certain this is gonna work, but I think it'll be really cool to make it happen. So I just wanna make sure that these egg yolks get nice and cooked because I want them to hold their foamy texture. So I'm gonna treat this like a hollandaise. So double boiler now. I'm gonna put the eggs in the pot. And I can remove it every once in a while so they don't overcook. You can see right now I have this light foam. So it should get much thicker as it cooks. We'll see. Hopefully this works. I think it'll be cool. So I'm just gonna take it off and on the heat to make sure I don't scramble it, but to have the egg fully cooked. So it's getting a little thicker. I'm worried this is gonna split. We're gonna find out. It's definitely getting thicker. At this point, I'm gonna season it with a lot of salt, a lot of black pepper. It's starting to hold its texture as I run my twine through it, as the tines go through it. Try to keep it going. You can see how much thicker it's gotten. I'm nervous to take this any further. The whole point of this is just to introduce some sort of creaminess to the dish without it being overly heavy or just straight oil into it. Next thing to do is see if this will hold over room temperature. It's very typical with pho, chicken pho or goi, chicken salad, that you serve it with a side. Salt, pepper, lime, and lime leaf is very common as well. So that's what I'm trying to do here. So this is gonna be an egg foam, which is like a sauce. I have some lime leaf. I'm just gonna remove the stem. And this is some calamansi or kumquat. Or if I didn't have this, I would just use lime. All right, this is pretty cool. If I did this again, I'd probably put some turmeric powder to get the color better. But we'll let this sit and see if it holds its texture. I'm gonna wash all my herbs. So I have some raw rum, AKA Vietnamese mint, AKA hot mint, or AKA laksa is another name. Call what you want, I don't care. Some culantro. Wow, this is big culantro. This is a nice culantro. And I have some green onion as well. The culantro, I'm just gonna cut up very thin. I think I would prefer cilantro for this. I don't have any, so I'm using this. This is gonna be quite similar. Cilantro just give me a little bit more delicate. That's okay. We swing a little bit, but that's all right. That's the last thing I need to cut. Green onion. Okay. I think we can assemble the raw rum. I like these big pieces of raw rum. I sprinkled some turmeric powder in here because I didn't like the color before, but I still don't like the color now. But it tastes good. Very eggy. All right, let's taste this stock. So it's definitely reduced by more than half. There's no seasoning in it yet. So it should be bland, but powerful. And it is. I'm keeping this really simple. So this is just chicken right now. There's nothing else in it. Some salt, some MSG, some more salt. That's it. I'm gonna serve this similar to mi wang, so it's gonna have like a little bit of broth, not a full soup. So this should be really strong. It should be on the salty side. I was debating about roasting the bones first or adding like a charred onion or a charred ginger to it to make it deeper and darker. But then I thought that oil was kind of really toasted, more toasted than I wanted it to be. So I'm keeping this super light and white. But that might change, we'll see. I like the amount of fat on top of this, so it's gonna be rich. Just thinking. Yeah, I do like the amount of fat on here. We'll see, that's why I'm making it today. It's a test. Conceptually, I like the dish. I think the dish is gonna be really good once I nail it, but we'll see if today's the nailing day. I doubt it. To me, this is heavily seasoned, but I want it to be a little salty. So I'm putting a little bit more salt in and a little bit more MSG. All right. This is fresh pho noodle. So this is unable to be opened. This is fresh pho noodle. So this has already been, well, it's been cooked, yes, but it hasn't been dried. I didn't have to rehydrate it or anything. This is ready to go. I never bought it like this before packaged, but it smells all right. Looks all right. So obviously, I don't know, maybe it's not obvious. When we're talking about the pho noodle, we're talking about the flat noodle kind of shaped like fettuccine, but of the rice variety. Okay, that'll work. It's a little bit salty and it's got a little bit of coating of oil. When you buy this at the market, it's not like this. it's just straight rice and water. This has rice with oil in between the sheets to help it not stick, and some salt in there probably helps preserve it, because this is sold at the supermarket unrefrigerated. So I'm sure there's some salt to help with preservation, which I didn't know about. I would have not seasoned that so aggressively. Let's do this. So I have my boiled chicken that's fully cooled down now. I'm gonna pick a portion of it into a bowl with some dark meat, some light meat, or whatever you prefer, I guess. Okay, so I'm gonna go some of the white onion, the raw onion. I'm gonna go a lot of raw rum. This is almost like we're making a Vietnamese chicken salad. Similar. Boom, boom, boom. We'll get a scoop of this oil that we made. I'm gonna go just a few drops of fish sauce. Because the noodles are seasoned, I'm a little more careful. I think that's it. Mix this up. This is gonna be kind of like a mix between pho gà, gỏi gà, and mì Quảng, like chicken pho, chicken salad, and mì Quảng, which is a just a noodle dish from the Central, which is always served with like a shallow broth, not a full broth. I'm kind of obsessed with that dish. I love this like cross between a soup and a salad, and that's what's kind of inspiring this whole thing. It's just hard because there's so many components. I'm just thinking it all through. This tastes good. I'm gonna put more fish sauce. Okay. And I'm like, it needs sweetness, but then the egg yolks are kind of sweet and the chili sauce is sweet, so I don't want to add any more sweet. There's so many elements to this, it's hard to keep them all together and imagine them put together, but I think this is gonna be good. We're ready. Here we go. Green onions in the bowl. Pepper. A little bit of the hot broth. The pho noodle. The chicken salad. Okay, this looks excellent to me right now. Some of this egg foam, which remember has the lime leaf. It has the kumquat or the calamansi, so it's got some sourness and some sweetness. The ngoi ri, or the sawtooth coriander, or culantro, call it what you want. And then we got some of this bright red chili sauce that's got some sweetness. I wish it was thicker. It's not, but it'll still be good. Let's try this frickin' thing. All right, I'm kind of baffled. It's been a long day putting this together. It's been a little hard. I don't know if you can see that dish pile behind me. I'm curious what the hell this is gonna taste like. Okay, upon first bite, that's pretty good. That's cool. I like the way I don't like the color of the foam, but I like the way it looks on the noodles and how it drops down, and it just gives us a totally different look than what you've seen before in any sort of pho. This is really cool. I'm really pumped about this. I'm super excited actually. It's seasoned really well. It's creamy in a way that doesn't involve dairy, which is what I wanted. I wanted to add a creamy element to this without reaching for cream. I wanted it to still feel Vietnamese. I didn't want it to feel fusion-y like with any sort of cream or cream cheese or anything like that. So the egg yolk foam is awesome. It gives me that. It's almost macaroni and cheesy texture without any sort of dairy product. So that's kick ass. It's exactly what I wanted. Super cool. It's very bright. The shallots and the garlic don't taste burnt. They taste fine in there, although I wouldn't cook them that much next time. But they still hold their texture. I don't really taste the chicken skin. I don't really get that yet. Maybe I'm just missing it. The chili sauce to me is great, bright. It has some heat to it, but it's very clean flavor. There's a fried garlic, a little too bitter. I had a big chunk of fried garlic. It's a little bit burnt. I can taste it, but it's still good. Next time I would make the egg foam more citrusy, more lime leaf. I would heat the noodle and heat the chicken before I served it. This is not as hot as I want it to be. I don't want it to be hot, but I want it to be warmer than room temperature. All in all, for a first shot, this is pretty damn good. I'm super pumped about this. I'll make it again and be even better. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give me a like, subscribe to the channel, a lot more coming. See you guys next time, and maybe we'll see this on TV soon.